Bud. This is my cheat sheet for Friday, March 23rd, and it happens to be my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Ashley. Okay, I've been telling you of late that I was worried a little bit about not just energy prices, but also mortgage rates. Going back on Monday, I mentioned that what I was seeing take place in the bond market, I thought was going to end up meaning faster rising mortgage rates. And we haven't been used to that. We've kind of been lulled into the sleep with these super low mortgage rates. We got used to the idea of being able to get a 3-point-something mortgage rate on a 30-year fixed, right? We had 4 straight months in which you could get a 30-year fixed mortgage for under 3, or I'm sorry, for under 4. But that day has come and gone, and we might not get back there at all. We have seen just over the last month about a ½ point added on to mortgage rates. That's a pretty big jump when you're talking about a 3.7, 3.8 mortgage rate. We're now averaging this morning nationally about 4.3, just under that, 4.27 to be exact. And why is this going on? Well, there are multiple things that come into play when it is determining a mortgage rate, and aside from what your credit score is. Those things are the Federal Reserve and what they charge banks to borrow from each other. That hasn't changed. It's essentially zero. What has changed is how people are dealing with the bond market. People are beginning to become nervous. As you see energy prices rise, what do we know is taking place? Real inflation. Not the core number the government uses, that's a bad joke, but the real number that deals with food and energy. As we've seen that rise, we're also seeing people change their investments in the bond market, which is causing mortgage rates to rise. So I mentioned on Monday, I want you to go ahead, if you're considering buying a refi, get yourself rate locked for as long out as you can, and give yourself some time to make that purchase or to be able to get your affairs together to be able to refi. If by chance it does bump down a little bit, and it's possible, then you can get a better rate at that time. If not, at least you're protected in case we do continue to see mortgage rates rise. And I'm worried about that because I think that energy prices are going to continue to rise. We will hit $4 a gallon in Florida at some point, I'm thinking by the end of April. Now, here's the next part, gas prices. Next part of my concern deals with this. We had 2 weeks ago a study come back that showed that at $4 per gallon, 28% of Americans will make, quote, major changes in their everyday life. A major change can be subjective, but we know that means less going around and spending on various things in everyday life. Less discretionary spending, which is 70% of the U.S. economy, consumer spending. So, today, we have 11 states, real time right now, that are averaging more than $4 per gallon. In Florida, we happen to be at $3.89 per gallon. So you have a fifth of the country that is at a point at which 28% said they would make major changes in everyday life. So now we need to watch closely what's happening in these states over the next month and see if we are really going to have a concern about a major impact on the economy or whether we can weather this storm. But as I mentioned, I think energy prices are going to head higher. And remember that because of the seasonal blend of fuel that the EPA mandates we get on, the summer blend by June 1st, that alone will add 30 to 35 cents per gallon from wherever we are at that point. In other words, at $3.89 a gallon right now in Florida, if it were June 1st, the price throughout the state would be in the 420s. So those states that are already over $4 per gallon, most of them are going to be over $5 per gallon. I don't have to tell you how big of an impact that could actually end up having. All right, so with all my happy economic stories out of the way for today, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday.